Lea Nox is a professional wrestler, getting good reviews, I might say. Yes, by those where you've worked, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get you more work that way too, so that's good. Lea, for you, what made you decide, hey, I want to become a professional wrestler?
Well, I've been a fan of wrestling, much like everybody else, since I was a little kid, since I was about 8 years old, and I was actually going to school for accounting, and one day I just kind of sat there, I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, and I thought about what was the one thing that, as a child or even as an adolescent made me happy, and it was wrestling, and so I thought, what the hey, I have nothing to lose by, trying to find a school, and I was lucky enough to stumble upon Soulman Alex G, who's the best trainer in the world in my opinion, and, he's been teaching me everything that I know so far, and he's just the best. Like, I can't say enough good things about him.
Soulman Alex G in Florida has trained a lot of wrestlers, so he has a good reputation too.
Yeah.
How important was it for you to find somewhere or someone who you could trust with your wrestling training, because you're coming into this cold?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I didn't know the inner workings of the business, obviously, and I had heard that there are a lot of places out there that'll scam you and all of that, and I actually found La Rosa Negra first. She was the first person I met, and she had a school, and so I went there, and I was like, you know what? All the other schools are run by men, but this is run by a woman, and I had known a little bit about her, and I knew how long she'd been in the business, so let me go over there. And I met her, and Alex G was training there, and so I met him and started training with him, and I mean, honestly, it was by pure fate and luck that I stumbled upon them and not anywhere else, because, he's taught me so much, not even just about wrestling, but on a personal and a mental level, and he's not just my trainer, he's one of my best friends. I know he's like a father, and I know I can go to him for anything, and I know that he'll never steer me in the wrong direction in this business, because it can tend to pull you a lot of different ways, I feel like, and get unsure of, well, should I do this, should I do that, and I know that I can go to him, and he'll always give me honest and the best advice.
What was the most challenging for you when you started training to be a professional wrestler?
Most challenging,
was it the physicality? You're very physical out there, though.
Yeah, it wasn't really the physicality, because, I grew up as a dancer and a cheerleader, and, I grew up with a lot of guys, and played football with the kids in my neighborhood, and, so the physical stuff wasn't the challenge. It was really the mental part of the psychology. The psychology, like understanding how, a match is supposed to, making things flow, and, knowing when to do what and why you do what. There's always a why behind a what, and it's just, that was the hardest part. That's the part that I'm still, you always learn. You never stop learning. Every day, every match that I have, I learn something new that I'm like, oh my God, like a light bulb went off and it clicks. But, yeah, that was probably the most difficult part.
How do you feel about the state of women's wrestling now compared to when you were watching women's wrestling? It's
amazing, because I grew up in a time where the women were eye candy, and they were having the bra and panties matches,
the jello matches,
and
pillow fight
matches, and a lot of the girls. When one of the first women.
Lea, I can't see you doing a pillow fight match.
No,
I just want you to know
that would never happen.
I can see you doing a steel cage match, but no.
Yeah, I would love to do that. But I remember one of the first women I saw was Lita, and I was like, whoa, like this girl is different, and she's out there like one of the guys, and at that time you had her, and then you had Trish, and at that time that I started, Trish was like the valet, and doing the whole sexy thing, and to see her evolution, and then how the business has evolved with what I feel like she started. She kind of changed the game when she's like, I'm not going to be the fitness model. I'm gonna get in the ring, and it's incredible where it is now. The fact that we can have all women's shows.
Like tonight, right? We're a women's show tonight.
And, I know there are other all women promotions out there that have been around for a while, but I feel like they're eyes are all on women's wrestling now, and it's wonderful that we're not the sideshow or filler match, amongst all the guys. People want to come to an all-women's show and see all women's matches, and
to see them wrestle.
Be like, this is the same as if I were to go to a show that has all guys. It's the same thing. We're out there trying to do the exact same thing, and finally, it's getting the appreciation I think that it deserves.
Do you see yourself as a role model for young girls?
Yeah, I mean, I've never thought of myself that way, but...
But you are, and others in this industry are.
Yeah, I mean, it was when I...
Would that be fair to say, do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. I think that every woman in this industry should be a role model for little girls, because growing up, there were only a handful of girls I saw, so I idolized a lot of the guys. You know, some of my favorite wrestlers in the world are guys, and that was just because there wasn't much diversity for me, you know, but now there's so many women that are out there kicking butt, and these little girls that come to the show, you know, they get to see that, and their superhero doesn't have to be a guy. It can be a girl.
And Lea, what do you want to get out of all of this?
I just want to live my dream. Like, that's all I want. I don't want to do anything else with my life, you know, and I just want to make people feel how I felt when I was 8, 9, 10 years old watching, or even when I was 20 years old watching, you know. I want to make people feel what I felt, and I feel like every time you step into the ring, that's what you should strive to do. And I just want to continue, you know, having fun.
Is that dream, part of that dream, WrestleMania?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the top of the list, is to be on a WrestleMania one day. Actually, headline a WrestleMania one day would be great. But yes, that's definitely the goal.
Lea, thank you so much.
Thank you.